Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today, as we can see, we've got another month, we've got another dev diary for Prehistoric Kingdom, everyone's favorite accurate dinosaur park builder. So yeah, it's a game that I'm really love following, and it's cool to be able to catch up with another month of these guys. I actually was worried I wouldn't have a video out for this week, and then I remembered, oh, the 1st of September, that'll be August will be that's when it'll come out. So I'm glad we have a video for this week. Um, but yeah, this is the August Dev Diary. So this goes over the past month. It's a bit of a short one because, as we mentioned before, update 15 came out with lots of breeding and other features. So it's mainly going to go over that and then talk about what's coming up in the next updates. But we still got a new species, so a couple of new species actually mentioned. So you guys will quite enjoy that and talk about some other mechanics, especially a mechanic I am quite excited for. So yeah, enough about me rambling. Let's get right into it. So we got August 2025. So welcome to the August Development Diary. In case you somehow missed it, Update 15 released just under a week ago. This monumental update added new behaviors for breeding and courtship alongside many new standout features like paleobotany, foliage browsing, and new enrichment feeders. So we highly recommend that you give the patch notes a read, so you know that big updates come out. If you haven't already, as they're formatted like a mini blog post, lots of really great stuff to check out. And you can see they've added also with the full update Oviraptor, so another really cool species, fitting with all the eggs. And also is a great time to purchase the game in general, as it's currently 30% off until September 1st. Be sure to grab it while you can, because the sale will end very soon. It is very soon, so it's basically the next day or two. Because I'm ahead of you guys, so it'll be probably finishing quite soon anyway. But yeah, this is kind of a cool update. I like that it's to enhance learning and productivity. It teaches you about zoo management and dinosaurs and science. It's a great way to learn in a fun way. And plus, people love dinosaurs. How can you not love dinosaurs? They're bloody amazing. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World have all made billions of dollars, so that's evidence of that. All right. So, due to the update being so recent, the team are kind of taking a little break. So, please forgive us for this dev diary being short. You don't have to worry about that, honestly. You've earned it. We want you to stay energized. And I know I'm working in a small team, and I know it's so hard to kind of keep that energy when you're just overloaded with so much. So, yeah, you got to take a break, got to appreciate what you've done, appreciate time off, and that gives you re-energized to get you back into it. But yeah, but you don't need to forgive us. You've already given us a lot of really great stuff in this dev diary anyway. But we just want to quickly touch base before going back to work and refresh the community on our plans for the future. So, the state of development. Having now launched Update 15, the team are very happy with its reception and feedback from the community. As it's at its peak, we almost broke 1,000 concurrent players on Steam, which is the highest number we've had since launching in early access. So yeah, great turnout. While there's always work to be done on and pesky bugs to resolve, we finally having both breeding and seamless growth in the game has been a real full cycle moment for us. We truly mean it when we say thank you for supporting PK. We couldn't have made it this far without you. And of course, this comparison. I remember this was back, 10 plus years ago. I remember playing that first demo because I remember the one where it had like the one Gallimimus that came out, and this was on the forum. So that's how long I've been involved with Prehistoric Kingdom, and I'm glad to continue supporting them now. But you gotta remember this old one with that's kind of that there, and you can see how it's changed over the past 10 years. It looks absolutely amazing. It shows, just sometimes persistence and, waiting for the right opportunities, and it's come out amazingly well. I just remember that old demo when you had the one Gallimimus come up the hatchery and you tried to release more, it wouldn't work. I remember that, it was beautiful. And there's also additional patch coming up. So, what's next? Very soon, some team members will be jumping into Update 15.1. This extra release will add remaining features from Update 15 that were not ready to ship, as well as addressing some reported issues such as pregnancies randomly disappearing. Here's our original quote from the patch notes. So this is a little bit of a thing here. We'll go on through it. So although this is not what we plan to ship, this is not how we plan to ship Update 15. Unfortunately, circumstances over the last few weeks have meant that we had to elected our priorities for the well-being of our team members to focus on the core breeding mechanics. See, whatever things happen, either it was too much of a workload, you just couldn't manage to get it out on time. Maybe some things happened within the team, people getting sick or having leave or something like that, as you do. Um, yeah, it's just sometimes that's things that happen. Sometimes you just can't meet those goals, and that's okay. And it's good that they're so upfront about it as well. But the second update, these features we're running a second update coming in September. So animal head IK, so the head IK that we covered last time when the animals, walking around and looking at things, that'll be coming as well. And interspecies threat displays and fleeing, so that's going to be a really cool one as well. However, this can occur during courtship right now, so it's technically already in the game, but it needs to be expanded a bit more. So some little things, kind of dotted in the mini updates as well. So we apologise and hope you can respect our decision on this. This team currently expects update 15.1 to arrive before the end of September, only a few weeks away. So, yeah, sometimes things just don't make it on time. Maybe the feature just wasn't quite up to snuff, or it just didn't really have the time, or, something may have happened. But yeah, it's one of those things you just got to commit to it, and it's good that they've been honest about it and say it will come. So it's not. Sometimes, life likes to throw curveballs at us, so don't worry about it too much. But this is a cool update we get to talk about. So the road ahead, update 16. After working with on two major animal-related updates back to back, it's safe to say that our team was feeling ready to move on to something that doesn't relate to growth or breeding. With update 1, while update 1 gets worked on, the rest of the team will be entering pre-production for update 16. This will be another huge and frankly transformative update, this time focusing on expanding the gameplay and park management experience. So that's quite cool. While we aren't ready to divulge into the exact details of everything coming, you'll start to see more images and info over the next few months. So for now, here's a taste of what we're looking at. So we've got here the Vivariums. So really, really cool. We can see the different types of vivariums that got planned. So previously known as terrariums. Terrariums, if we're going to go into the technicality of the words, vivarium is technically, has an animal in it. Terrariums are, when they just kind of have trees and things like that. Vivarium is one of the animals, the kind of the focus. So if you've got a leopard gecko in a tank, that is a vivarium, not a terrarium. Just going on the technicality of that. And then you have your aquarium, so that's just with water. Paludarium is kind of like a shoreline. They've got different definitions for different terms. But yeah, we've got vivariums coming into the game. So what are vivariums? Vivariums are placeable habitat modules used to house smaller specialized animals like that you'd find in a real zoo. So you go into a bug house or a reptile house and you'll see the glass and they're kind of like a little habitat with some lights and bulbs. They're great for like reptiles and invertebrates and small animals that you won't have these huge exhibits for. So that's kind of what we're going for. But really love even more. These will allow players to effectively build customizable reptile houses and aviaries. Or aviaries. So that's really cool. So it's really nice to be able, because that was one of the big things missing in Planet Zoo, even though Planet Zoo could, has dozens of options for those small, exhibits that they call them. It's really sad that we didn't get the customizability that we wanted. Like, there's a little bit, but there's not a lot, and a lot of them, there's just one box. But this is really cool as they're trying to expand that a bit more, hopefully. And I really see what the Prehistoric Kingdom team can come up with. So we consider an animal to be a vivarium species if its size or movement style does not mesh well with the dynamic nature of regular animals. So without vivariums, you would not encounter animals like Microraptor, Archaeopteryx, and Yichi. So here's Yichi, the Senscropterid, with the with those lovely, bat wings. So a really interesting dinosaur, and a really, really great mod as well. I like that we got the male and female as well. So yeah, just allow those smaller animals to get into the game, because if you've got a 50-ton sauropod and you've got like a small, like half a kilo Archaeopteryx, a Microraptor, a small bird like animal, it's very difficult to try and create for both, because it's just the scale of it is way too big, and you can have theoretically thousands of these, and it just helps to make creating habitats for those smaller animals a lot easier. Which is cool, so they will not consider them to putting them in the game. But anyway, So for these guys to keep the dev cost low, these do not have an ontogeny system, so they won't go from eggs to grow up like most animals in the game. They'll just have an adult form. Multiple skin design, so they will only have the one skin. Um, so that's the Ichi skin, and that's the only one we're getting, or a true AI brain. So this is kind of more of a lightweight version of it. So we still get them, but they're not going to be the same as normal animals. They're going to be kind of they're kind of in between. So they're kind of a good in between, just so they have basically you have the animals. Like, it's better to have these in the game, and I think that works better just to keep obviously your computer's probably going to struggle with thousands of animals, so a lot of these is just to help your computer, help to save the devs time, and still get these animals in, but in a way that kind of works better, because I think honestly this way kind of works better because they're so small, and obviously you can have the design as well, but yeah. So they are an expansion to the mini aviary idea that is currently in the game. So have the mini aviary, which is quite cool. You got Archaeopteryx and Microraptor in there, so you know how they work. They've got the null version that you can design around it. They've got the perches and the looped animations for them. That's kind of how this will work as well. So these kind of aviaries will work a bit similar. So this add new options for a terrestrial and amphibious tank alongside the usual arboreal housing for climbers and gliders. So they'll play animations at a preset points around the habitat and sometimes even traverse it depending on where they spawn each time you look in their vivarium. So very similar to Planet Zoo in that regard, though a little bit more dynamic because these are not just static reptiles or invertebrates that just stand there and go, ooh. These guys will have looped animations and you see as play animations, looped animations, and different things to do to keep you a little bit more engaged. You're kind of an improved or more involved version of the exhibits in Planet Zoo. That's probably the best way to describe it. But a little bit more involved because you got animals flying around, and you can have the null version so you can design them. A key part of the Vivarium upgrade is to overhaul the animal systems. It makes it much easier for us to set up new species. This is actually why no new animals have actually been added to the current mini aviary since beta. It's kind of a very old, rigid kind of system, and is not nice to use and as our updated pipeline. So it's kind of a excuse to go through and really update it and give it a good birthday. In terms of management, though, players who need to make sure staff can access the back of their vivarium in order to feed, clean, or treat the animals for disease. We're also including some pictures below to show what likely players will be able to build when you combine them with modular building pieces in the Vivarium modules. So that's really, really cool. So they're going to be a lot more creative in terms of what you can build with them rather, than the Planet Zoo ones, not just given a couple sliders. These are going to be pretty much a module that you can put in there, and you'll be able to create whatever you want within that module. Very similar to, a big enclosure. It's just going to be module. Same other modules, like you got your gift shop. You can create your gift shop around and design stuff in your gift shop. This will be the same thing, so you can design all these different things. It'll be more just a basic design. So you can see here we've got a Komodo dragon with these kind of classic lights, and then you've got these big logs and things, and you'll be able to design those and create them as you like, just as any other modular bit. Same with these as well. I imagine there'll be one with kind of an amphibious, so there'll be a big tank with glass there, and then you can go and put your trees and stuff around it as you like. So I think that'll be really, really cool for design. This is basically what I wanted the exhibits in Planet Zoo to be. So I'm really excited to actually get into the system, design some really cool terrariums, not terrariums, vivariums, and paludariums, and all these kind of designs. I think that's a really untapped thing that we're going to look at. So I'm really quite cool to get stuck into that. So yeah, that's one of the biggest updates I'm really excited for, and I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Might have to do a video of designing a terrarium or something, or a vivarium. I think that'll be quite cool to have a video designing something like that and come up with something cool. But yeah, it's a really, really cool system. Anyway, next up we've also got vets, diseases, and deaths. So now we're getting a bit, sad. So now we've got new staff member, vets. So vets will monitor habitats, tend to nests, and alert the players of any disease that they find along the way. Depending on the severity, animals can be treated in the field directly. If it's a serious or contagious issue, players should move the animal into the upcoming quarantine bay module. So that's another module coming in. This module must be stocked with a new medicine resource that vets use to cure and restore animals. So it's another management thing. And there will be a range of quarantine bay sizes available, with up to the largest versions, supporting sauropods. So there'll be little ones up to big ones. I wonder how the the vivarium animals will kind of come into that. But all that said and done, in the worst case scenario, it'd still be possible for the animals to die if they become too sick or old. So death will be coming in. I'd really love to see how they expand diseases. I think it'd be really cool if the diseases could be tied to, if you've got an animal like living on concrete. This is something that happens in real life zoos. You have animals on the wrong substrate, or they're living on concrete and not of a variety of substrate. They get things like bumblefoot. So it's cool. Maybe if the animals are too cold, they get sick or something like that. It'd be cool if sicknesses can come from both husbandry decisions, but also, just random, but also come from, if you don't do the husbandry correctly, or you have the animals in the wrong habitat or something like that. Wrong, wrong substrate, wrong stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool if they could get sick based off that. So, it's a sign, it's a visual sign, and a sign that you need to change this habitat because it's not suiting that animal. So I think that'd be really cool if that could tie into the gameplay a bit. So like if you make, let's say we'll make an elephant enclosure, we'll make mammoth enclosure, and we don't put any coolers in it, and then we put them all on concrete. So we know issues with elephants on concrete in captivity. It's really bad. It causes them to develop early arthritis and things like that. But also being a fluffy elephant in a tropical climate, having adapted for very cool temperatures, the animal's going to suffer from heat stroke and also going to suffer from early arthritis, but also, potentially bumblefoot as well. So yeah, that I think that would be a cool thing to explore. I think that'd be quite cool, but that's just me rambling. Not sure how you do it though, but we've got some other cool things as well. I'm not a developer at all, so it's just ideas based on my zoo experience. Flat rides. This is another cool one as well. So flat rides are a new type of attraction that can provide guests with entertainment or a better look at your animals. As mentioned in the January development diary, that's a while ago, flat rides include things such as Ferris wheels, theatres, or tethered balloon rides that go up straight to provide a vantage point. So that's quite cool. Creating those big flat rides, make it almost more like a, it's not necessarily the more theme parky, but having rides, zoos have rides. SeaWorld is a good example. We would love to include truck and tour rides. I'd really love that, having tours and stuff like that, so you can go through enclosures and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. So basically what you do in JWE and Planet Zoo, those would be really cool. These obviously has a significantly higher dev cost. We'll see how things go. So hopefully they'll come out later. I think they're quite an important part of the game, of course, but we'll have to see how that goes. And also staff progression. So there seems to be updates there. Staff progression. So to make things more cohesive, staff training and salary management will be merged into a unified system, letting players individually train staff. And as the skill level of a staff member goes up, so does the salary. So if they become too expensive, the player may have to demote them and lose access to the skills until promoting them again. So, you got to be quite hard on that. But yeah, cool. I think that makes it a lot easier to manage. And you can see we've got Maurizio. Oh, Maurizios. They all got the same name, but you can see the kind of concept there. Really, really cool. There's a few other ideas cooking of how to improve the staff experience, but we have to wait a little bit longer before announcing any specifics. So it's cool that they're always thinking of how to fix things and make things work better. And since all the remaining updates until full release are equally large, we expect a minimum development window between releases to be about 3 or 4 months, basically what you're already used to, so that sounds about right. But as always, you can check the roadmap and see what's on its way and keep you in the loop if things do change. So that's quite cool there. But yeah, we've got update 16, so we've got a new Vivarium species, so I know you guys be quite excited about this. So there's something chirping in the bushes, and it's not a bird. This must be the tiny Jurassic theropod Compsognathus. So this little finger biter will be one of the smallest animals in Prehistoric Kingdom, ending up just a little shorter than a baby velociraptor. So you can see this is a Vivarium species, and you can see we don't have any other skins. This is just the one skin for Compsognathus. Really, really famous one, you know, Jurassic Park. It's really cool that we got one with feathers too, because it's very likely they did have feathers. Compies and similar sized land critters will be housed in the terrestrial vivarium, making it easier to keep track of them. We can't wait to show more pictures once they started properly developing their habitats. This is going to be so much fun. So you can see there's a lot of cool changes there, and you can see this is the teasing of the kind of habitats there. Work in progress, and you can see the wonderful design of them there. Looks really, really nice, and you see some glass. So very interesting to see some more designs in Vivarium. That's definitely going to be a good highlighter for the next few Dev Diaries. They're really, really cool. So that's all for the moment. We'll see you again next month for September's Dev Diary as we move deeper into working on Update 16. In the meantime, there's quite a lot to play with in Update 15. We hope you enjoy everything we just added. So Community Spotlight. Let's have a look at who's done these. These two photos are actually quite nice. They're done by Gemini98. There's a really nice one of the Gallimimus. I love the Gallimimus. Such a beautiful model. Hanging around in a swamp. And then we got this one of the Oviraptor. Mum and Dad. And actually, I think there's a baby. So a couple of babies from Mum or a couple of females. Look really, really nice. By Gemini. I got another one by, what's it? Unga. So Unga's got a really nice one, very, you know, Southeast Asian, not Southeast Asian, like very Japanese, Chinese themed enclosure, which makes sense, or Mongolian, because it's where these guys come from. You can see the male there and a few adults and babies, so quite a mixed herd, and looks really, really good. Nice enclosure. And we've got another really cute picture here. So here's, what was it? By Sammy Chan 14, having some eggs. So you can see some variety of the eggs there, making a nest. You know, doing what mothers do. And last but certainly not least, we got by Kadao. I think that's how it is. Looks like we've got some really nice backstage kind of designs. So this is probably for like a cave lion or something by the looks of it. So this is been to a few, you know, carnival kitchens. This is pretty spot on. So someone's, you know, created a nice kitchen, you know, had the butcher meat to feed the animals. So yeah, pretty spot on. And he obviously got the drain there to keep it all sterile, nice and clean. Perfect. Really, really nice. So help support, you know, a Patreon as well, so you can donate to the Patreon. Thank you for reading August Dev Diary. Don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for Update 15.1 and keep posting all those gorgeous screenshots in our Discord server. So until next time, the PK team. So yeah, this was I mentioned a bit of a smaller one today, but I like the implications of it. I'm really excited for the Vivariums. Those Vivariums are going to be a game changer, and I'm really excited to see what species we get for them, because there's going to be a lot of cool options and a lot of cool designs. I think it'll be really awesome to see what they can come up with. So yeah, I think this is a great place to end the video. So I really, really, really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, always remember to get the little bell icon to get notified about anything. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.